the around the block electric beach cruiser bike. You gotta see it. Hey everyone, I'm Dustin. I have nearly 20 years experience in the bike and e-bike industry. And today I'm gonna show you the around the block electric beach cruiser bike. Now, before I get into it, hit that subscribe button below. Stay in touch with us here at 630. Be the first to know about all the new content we're putting out, giveaways we're doing, and of course, new product releases. All right, right here, I've got the around the block beach cruiser. It's a 500 watt electric beach cruiser. If you want more information about it, link in the description below, and you can check out the full specs and where to purchase. Now, this is a really cool electric bike because of how classically styled it is. If you want to come in for a closer shot here, I'm going to show you the details of these. Now, I've got a bunch of the colors out here. We've got two different styles or frames. We call one of them a men's. It's also the higher top tube style or the women's with the lower style. And we've got our matte black here, our steel cloud, our teal, our mint green, and our lilac right here as well. Now, you can see we've got the offset colored rims, the black rims on a couple of them. We've got the cream rims on the steel cloud, and then also the rear racks colorways as well. So a really fun styled cruiser, which is really the spirit of beach cruiser bikes. Now, let that make you think though that this is not powerful enough. So it's a 500 watt e-bike. It's a rear hub motor. So the motor's in the rear here. We've got the front and rear disc brakes as well. So you're gonna be able to achieve top speeds of up to 20 miles an hour in full throttle and about 22 miles an hour in pedal assist. And you've got a 10.4 amp hour battery on the rear here as well, and that can take you up to a range of 50 miles per ride, depending on how you use the pedal assist and the throttle. Now, if you come in closer here, I'll show you, you've got a thumb throttle here on your left hand. You can actually press this and the bike will go without pedaling at all. And you also have pedal assist. So two options and ways to use the electric, either full electric by pushing the thumb throttle, or when you pedal, it will give you assistance. Now, as I power this on here as well, you're going to notice that this is my level of assist right here, and this is my miles per hour. So I've got it in level 1, and we can put this up to level 5, and then this is your miles per hour. Now, these are your levels for the pedal assist, and it's easy to change with your thumb here while you're riding. Now, if you walk through here as well, you can see all the different colors. And again, it's something fun and different compared to other electric bikes that are out there. Now, the other cool thing is the riding position. So I'll go ahead and just step on this one right here, a little cramped in here with all the bikes lined up. Now, when you're mounted on the around the block, your back's gonna be upright, your arms are nice and relaxed, and you just have that nice cruiser position, you know, that classic style, really comfortable, really easy to ride. Everything's also fully adjustable up here, so you can tilt and raise and lower the handlebars. You can also raise and lower the seat to accommodate your body, and that can be easily done at home by you with a simple tool on the handlebars. Now, the seat can come up and down with the quick release, so very easy to find the position that's right for you. The other thing too that I don't have here, but we've got bags and accessories that match a lot of these bikes. Also black and brown that can go with everything. Also want to point out here on the rear is the battery. And I'll show you. So the battery's easily removable out the rear here. So you can slide the battery out. And the keyhole's on this side over here. So this is your key to lock the battery on and off. And this is your charging port right here. And you just plug it into your wall at home. Takes about 4 to 6 hours to charge it all the way. And so if you want to bring the battery inside to charge or leave it on, again, it's easily removable, or you can lock it onto the bike if you park it somewhere so nobody takes it. All right, what else can I show you here? Like I said, the disc brakes, good for stopping and start, or good for stopping. The other thing I want to show you is up here on the handlebars. If you come over to this bike, now these are 7 speeds. Take our clear plastic off here to show you better. All right, so we actually have a 7-speed derailleur. Now this is just like on a regular bike. So this is a good e-bike if you also like to pedal without the motor, or if you're gonna run the assistance in a lower level, like a 1 or a 2. You have 7 gears here that can be shifted. Now again, you have the assistance you get from the motor, which is independent of the gears. The gears are actually part of just the normal bike. However, with that said, it's good to have the 7 speeds so you can match the cadence of your pedaling with the assistance you're getting from the motor. Now, this will come in real handy if you're doing a lot of hills and you want to shift it to a lower gear, or if you want to go faster on flat ground, it's nice to have that range and shift up to 7 speeds. And you shift simply just by twisting right here. So the gears of the bike are shifted with your right hand twisting, and your left thumb, you control the assistance level for the motor and also the throttle with your thumb here. So really fun, cool electric beach cruiser with tons of different colors. We've also got other videos on our YouTube channel of us taking rides if you want to check it out and see how it performs on the open road. And if you have any other additional questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us, the team at sixthreezero.com, or call us 310-982-2877, or comment below. In addition to that, you're going to find the Around the Block linked in the description below. Also, we have a 30-day test ride your e-bike policy. If you don't love it in the first 30 days, send it back, no questions asked, no money out of your pocket. In addition to that, we're going to warranty everything for 1 year. Anything goes wrong in the first year, we will take care of it, parts and labor. And lastly, be a part of our community, our Facebook group, and download our app. 2 great places to connect with our community, especially in advance of purchasing. You can ask members of the Facebook group how their experience has been with their e-bike, so you can get comfortable purchasing. Then when you have yours, post in the group and make friends, and track your rides on the app and compete on the leaderboard. It's a lot of fun. So thanks for sticking around, and don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride. Hey guys, Dustin here, CEO of 6threezero, and today I'm going to talk to you about the benefit of upgrading your standard Around the Block women's to our electric Around the Block women's. Stay tuned. All right, so today I'm going to talk to you about the benefits of upgrading your women's Around the Block to our electric women's Around the Block. But before I do, hit that subscribe button below, stay in touch with us here at 6threezero, and be the first to know about all the new content we're putting out, new products, and of course, the weekly, monthly contests we're doing for giveaways of accessories, bikes, and e-bikes. All right, so behind me, I have our standard women's Around the Block and our electric women's Around the Block. This is the 500 watt. The color schemes are some of our newer colors, but these are the same bikes, just different colors. So, let me talk to you about the benefit of upgrading to the electric bike version. Now, I love our standard bikes, and I think they're great, and everything, of course, has a place and a reason and a best case for use. And if you're curious about that, you can take our body fit quiz, actually, and that will recommend the perfect style and type of bike for you. But I believe there's a huge benefit to upgrading to an electric bike version. Let me run you through why. So, number 1, there's nothing the electric bike can't do that the standard bike can do. What I mean by that, the electric Around the Block comes with 3 capabilities. 1, ride it like a standard bike. 2, ride it with the electrical pedal assist to assist you while you pedal. Or 3, use the full throttle and let the bike do all the work completely. Now, on the standard version, obviously you're only riding this as a standard bike. There's no electrical component to it. However, if you don't want electrical, that's fine. What you do is you reduce the weight of the bike a little bit by not having the motor and the battery. But I want to speak to that as well. I just weighed everything off camera, and the standard version weighs 34 pounds, Now this is without the 7-speed or handbrake version. That would be 37 pounds if we were to add that in. This bike weighs 59.5 pounds. So the differential in the weight would be, drum roll, 37, 59, 22.5 pounds difference. Now, seems like maybe that's a lot, but I will say this. When you ride this bike on flat ground, you're not going to notice the weight differential that much between the standard bike. Now, over time, it may tire your legs out a little bit more. And of course, riding up hills, it's going to be harder to tow a heavier bike. However, you will have the electric assist that you can use to get up the hills if you so choose. But if you're really wanting to use this as a regular bike, there's an easy solution. You can also take the battery out. Now, this weighs 8.5 pounds. So by removing this, you've now reduced the weight of this bike from 59.5 pounds down to 51 pounds. Having a minor, gotta get this in here. Okay. So now we're at 51 pounds. So now we're at a 14-pound differential between the two of these. Couple reasons why. One, it's got a little bit beefier rear rack to hold the battery. Two, it has disc brakes, which are going to weigh a little bit more than the standard brakes. And also, we have the motor in the rear of the hub, which is approximately 10 pounds. So, because of where the weight is located and you're riding this as a regular bike, again, like I said, you're not going to notice the difference. So, if you're going to do, riding around town and you have the electrical assist, it's a huge benefit. Ride it like a bike if you want, use the motor as you want, take the battery out, reduce the weight, put it back in, use it electrical. The possibilities are endless, and it just gives you so much more opportunity. Now, the other benefit, go farther and go farther faster. So let's say that you're on your standard around the block and you usually ride 10 miles and you don't want to go any farther than that because you're scared of how exhausted you may be. And so you don't want to, in fear of being too tired to get home, you just always stop at 10 miles. The benefit of the electric bike version is you can ride as far as you want without the electricity. And then if you become tired, use the electricity to get home. That's something I like to do. I'll take my bike out for a 10-mile ride. I won't use the electricity at all. And then when I'm coming home, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to kick in a little bit of electricity. Or push yourself farther than you've ever been. Ride 15 miles with no electricity and then use the electricity to get home. It gives you that peace of mind that you won't feel stranded, or you don't have to be worried about how far have I ridden and can I get home. So the e-bike version can actually allow yourself to push your body even more. It's essentially like you have a driver to take you home in theory, right? You can push yourself that much more knowing this bike can get you home if you wanted to. If not, by all means, keep riding it like a normal bike, or use full electricity and push yourself even farther. Go 30, 40 miles. Let the pedal assist help you go the whole way. It's really up to you. The other benefit is the kind of topography you can take on. So if there's certain routes you've stayed away from or places that you've wanted to go but you haven't because of the incline of the hills, or certain terrains that maybe you're not comfortable riding on because you don't have enough leg power, boom, add in the electricity, and now those hills that you thought you couldn't tackle, you can tackle. So it's going to open up the possibility of where you can take your bike, where you can ride your bike, go new places that maybe you couldn't go on your standard bike. By all means, if you can tackle the routes that you want on your standard bike, then that's good for you, but you may be able to consider new possibilities. In addition to that, this bike now becomes a full-on mode of transportation. Not to say that a bike isn't, but the ability to get places farther and faster. So let's say you didn't want to ride to school, or you don't want to ride to the store because it's 2 miles, and 2 miles on a bike takes you 10 minutes. Now on an e-bike, it might take you 5 minutes. So knowing how much shorter that ride can take using the electrical assist might convince you to sway in that direction of using the bike instead of using a car. So if you already use your bike to commute, again, that's great. But if you don't, and you don't want to because you think you'll get there too slow, an e-bike becomes something where it's like a real mode of transportation and you can get places quick. In fact, on an e-bike, you may be able to get to locations, stores, school, other places faster because of the routes you can take on an e-bike versus an actual car. Now, that ties into hand in hand is going faster, so you'll just be able to generally cover more ground quicker. You know, whether or not you want to do that is totally up to you. In addition to that, you're going to be able to carry more weight. So with this e-bike and the power of the motor, you could put pannier bags back here, you could put a basket on the front, and so picking up groceries at the store becomes more practical. You know, on a standard bike, let's say that you don't want to lug back 50 pounds or 30 pounds or whatever it may be, or even a child trailer. As an example, I hook my children up to my electric bike in the trailer, and it's great because I can ride to the park up some minor hills that maybe I wouldn't feel comfortable on the standard bike version. So the ability to tow weight, bring weight with you, carry groceries, do things like that is another huge benefit of the electric bike version versus the standard bike version. Outside of that, you can see too, the frames are very identical. If you love your standard bike, you're gonna love the electric bike. The sitting position, the ergonomics, all of it's the same. The electric version feels identical to the around the block, except now you've added the motor and you've added the power and the speed that you get from it. The last thing I'll say too is you get the disc brakes, which are essential when you have an e-bike. You're gonna have great stopping power, makes stopping very easy. The caliper brakes are great for the standard bike, but on the electric bike, the caliper brakes are a must. So I think that summarizes the benefits of an e-bike. It's really go farther, go faster, do more, and push your body more are the top 4 things I would say. If you have any thoughts or questions about why you should upgrade or you're considering upgrading your around the block, comment below. We're happy to answer, or email us, the team at sixthreezero.com, or call us 310-982-2877. And don't forget, I mentioned it before, take our body fit quiz on the website. Our proprietary fitting tool will ask you a few questions about your body and your life, and it'll recommend the perfect bike for you and your circumstances. And don't forget, we have a 90-day test ride your e-bike policy. If you don't love it within 90 days, you can send it back, no questions asked, no money out of your pocket. So if you have the standard electric bike and you've been on the fence about upgrading, just remember 90 days, you can test it out, and you don't love it, we'll take it back, no expense out of your pocket. And if you aren't already, join our Facebook Pedalers group, be a part of the community, talk to other electric bike riders that already have the Around the Block women's electric version, ask them questions, see how they like it and get a feel for it, and of course, post your photos once you have one in that Pedalers group. And lastly, download the 630 app and be a part of the community there. Track your rides, compete on the leaderboard, see how others are riding their bikes. You can see how many miles people are logging on electric bikes. In addition, we have a company-wide goal in our People Pedaling mission goal to ride 150,000 miles. We're tracking it on the app, so any mile logged on there counts towards our goals. And if we hit our milestones, we're donating bikes to get more people pedaling. So we'd love to have you be a part of it. Come and join us. Alrighty, thanks for sticking around. And don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride. An electric beach cruiser for under $1,000. Stick around to see it. Hey everyone, I'm Dustin. I have nearly 20 years experience in the bike and e-bike industry, and today I'm going to show you an electric beach cruiser for under $1,000. Now before we get into it, hit that subscribe button below, stay in touch with us here at 630. Be the first to know about all the new content we're putting out, giveaways we're doing, and of course new product releases. All right, so right here I have the Around the Block 500 watt electric beach cruiser. There are 2 different versions. We've got a high top tube we call men's. We also have a lower top tube design we call women's. This is our mint green, our teal, men's steel blue, and our matte black. This is a 500 watt cruiser e-bike with 2.125 inch tires, 10.4 amp hour battery. So you're gonna be able to get up to 22 miles an hour max speed and pedal assist, and a range of up to 50 miles with this battery. Now, if you come in here as well, you've got a thumb throttle, so you can use this e-bike either pedaling or not pedaling. You can push this throttle with your thumb and the e-bike will go without any effort. Or you've got 5 levels of pedal assist here. You can turn this on and you can put this as high as level 5 for the assistance when you pedal. Now, front and rear disc brakes for maximum stopping power. You've also got a 7-speed derailleur. So if you choose not to ride with the electric, you have those 7 speeds. And also, pull this off here so you can see. And also, when you're going up hills, it's going to be much easier putting it into the lower gear. And also on the top speeds, you can shift into the higher gear to pedal faster. Coming down here, you can just see we got the white wall tires. Your battery's back here. It's easily removable for charging. And there's your derailleur down there and your 7 gears. Now, a couple other things too. This has a really nice ergonomic riding position. So when you sit on it, you stay in a very upright position with your back upright. Your arms are relaxed and you don't have to lean forward. Now, I could do a few little adjustments here to make this better for me, which I'll do before we get out here and take a ride with you. So I'm going to get on this. We're going to take you around, let you see how it performs, and yeah, walk you through it so you can see how I'm 230 pounds, so you'll see how it does on hills and how it accelerates as well. All right, so we are ready to ride. I've got it in level 1. I'm going to use the throttle to get going. And you can see it takes off nicely. So comfortable. I'm just going to not pedal for a minute here. And now you can see on my right hand here, I've got the derailleur. So I'm going to shift that up into 7. And I'm only in level 1. Go ahead and put it in 2. Oh, big bump. All right, cruising at about 12 miles an hour, and we're only in pedal assist 2. Now, if I crank this up, we can really get going. Up to 19, if you can see that, almost 20. Come to a stop here. All right, now I'm going to show you how easy it is to tackle this hill. Okay, I like to use my throttle to get moving. We got a big car, big truck here. Now again, I'm 230 pounds and I've got it in level 5 and I've actually got it in the 7th gear. So we could actually shift this down into 1 if we wanted to make it easier to pedal, but cadence feels good to me. Not too tiring at all. And you can see we're still moving up the hill at a good pace here. All right, now if I'm just a little tired, take a break, let's use our throttle. Now, if I push the throttle all the way down, you're gonna see our miles per hour start to climb. Up to 18, 19, there we go, 20. Now, when you hit 20 with just the throttle, well, we're getting above 20 because we're going downhill. Typically, if you hit 20 on a flat ground, it's gonna, the motor's gonna start to cut back. Okay. Now, there's a little bit of a steeper hill here. Let me go ahead and show you. Now I'm going to shift down. There we go. Now I'm in first, so you can see easier for me to pedal, but we're gonna move at a little slower pace. Now if I put this into second, there we go. Pretty big, long, steep hill here, but not exerting myself at all. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and shift it up. All right. All right, we're coming back down to a big decline here. And I like to just ease into the brakes sometimes so you don't have to slam on them, so you can control your speed on the downhill. All right, so we're up to 20, 21. It's nice to have these, you know, tires that are a little bit thicker too when you're doing this kind of speed. So I'm going to ease into the brake. And we got us down to 17. Now we got an even more extreme downhill right here. All right, so I got the brakes engaged as we go all the way down. I think I'm going to go on the trail. All right, so we're going to show you how this can perform on a hard-packed trail. Because these 2.125-inch tires got some crevasses here. Can do pretty well on this. A little bit slippery here, it's a little dusty, but a couple weeks ago this was all muddy. Now it's totally dried out. So the only challenge with this is just navigating these dips in the trail here. But you can see once you get onto the hard packed, you can really cruise around with the 500 watts. Now again, I'm gonna go on the other side just in case. If this was muddier, this really wouldn't be possible, but. So yeah, these tires are good for hard packed trails, pavement. It just makes it so fun. We got a beautiful day up here. Now a little hill, I could go ahead and, oh, it's like some poop. All right. And I'll just enjoy the ride with the throttle here. A little bumpy through here. All right. I think we can kind of get a sense of what we're doing up here. All right, we can turn around.
Already?
Yeah. All right. All right, where are we going? We got 17 miles an hour through the trail, not bad. Now again, you probably want to be mindful of the brakes. Getting back to a little bit flatter. Okay. Now you'll see too how easy this is with the throttle. Get up there, no problem. And sometimes I like to push the throttle while I'm also pedaling, just to ensure I've got all the power I need for any given scenario, or for whatever scenario I'm encountering, especially up a hill. Oops. Trying to find the best route here. I think straight's the best option. All right. Now we're back on pavement. Now I'm going to go ahead and shift into a lower gear for this hill climbing because this is a big, long hill we got here. I don't know if you can see this. Doesn't look maybe like much on camera, but it's long. And I can tell you without the motor, this would be very tiring.
Daydreaming.
Okay. So I'm in gear 3. Almost to the top here. Strong headwind. It makes it even nicer having the pedal assist. All right. Pretty much at the top of the hill. Now we're about to go into our downhill. I'm gonna take a little break. Let the throttle do the work here. All right, we're up to 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I'm gonna start easing into the brakes. All right. Now you can see how easily the brakes stop us. Go ahead and push the button here to cross. All right. So I am down to 3 bars. Now, a lot of that has to do with we went up some pretty major hills and I kept it in pedal 5 or level 5 the whole way. Also on the trails, I was in level 5 and I'm 230 pounds. So, you know, it really depends on the type of riding you're doing. We just went about maybe 5 miles. And we've got, 3/4 of a battery or 3/5 of a battery left. And I was in no way, shape, or form conserving battery at all. Okay. I like to use my throttle to get moving. It makes it so easy. Now, again, on any e-bike ride, the more throttle you use, the quicker you'll drain the battery. Also, if you run it in level 5 the whole ride, you're going to drain the battery more too. So I can take it down to level 3 and go into pedal assist, and we're going to drain a lot less battery. But I like to go fast, so let's go ahead and pump it up again. All right, let's see how fast we can get going on this downhill. Just to show you how good the brakes work. 26, 27, 28. I'm gonna pull the brakes. 28 miles an hour into the turn safely and easily. And now we can just dial this back. Go for a nice leisurely ride. And we're back. And actually my battery came back to life. We're at 4 bars now. So sometimes that happens while you're riding. It might go down because you exerted heavy on a hill and then it goes back up. So we've still got a lot more range left on there. So that's the around the block e-cruiser bike. Awesome, versatile electric beach cruiser. You can use it by the beach or anywhere else, pavement, hard packed trails, you name it. And you could see how fast we got going and also how well those brakes worked on those downhills. I was coming down at 29 miles an hour. No problem with the disc brakes. So any questions or comments at all, please put them below or reach out to us, the team at sixthreezero.com, or call us 310-982-2877. In addition to that, all these are linked in the description if you want to check them out on our website. We also offer a 30-day test ride your e-bike policy. If you don't love your e-bike in the first 30 days, send it back, no questions asked, no money out of your pocket. In addition to that, we're going to warranty everything for 1 year. Anything goes wrong in the first year, we'll take care of it, parts and labor. Lastly, be a part of our community, our 630 Peddlers group on Facebook. There's thousands of members in there. Join the group before you purchase so you can get comfortable that you made the right decision. Then when you have yours, post in the group, make friends, and then download our app to track your rides and compete on the leaderboard. It's a lot of fun. So thanks for sticking around, and don't forget, it's your journey or experience. Enjoy the ride.
Hey everybody, this is Peter at 630. I hope you're doing great today. This is going to be an assembly video for the electric around the block e-bike. This one is a 500 watt. It also comes in 250 watt. So we'll open this up and show you how to do it. You should note that the battery will ship due to federal regulation, will ship in a separate box. So these bikes come in two boxes, one for the bike, one for the battery. To deal with the battery, we have a separate video you can also find on the assembly page on sixthreezero.com. So here we go. Let's open the box and we'll pull this puppy out and show you how to do it. You may want to have a friend to help you with that. It's kind of a heavy bike, being an e-bike. See if we can get it to stand here. There's an assembly guide in the box, and then also a smaller box for the parts. For parts and with some rudimentary tools. We definitely recommend that you use your own tools. To assemble a bicycle, this bicycle you'll need Allen wrenches, 4mm, 5mm, 6mm. Regular wrenches will be 9mm, 10mm, 12mm, 13mm, 14mm, and 15mm, as well as some box cutters or utility knife or something else to cut the packaging off with, and then of course a pump to inflate the tires. The first thing we're going to do is we'll start removing the packaging. First, remove the small white box. Go ahead and open everything up just to make sure that you have the parts that you need. There we go. And so this is the charger, which will go with the battery, which will come in a separate box. And then we'll grab the small parts box, which has pedals and just the lock nut cap in it. This one says that there's another part. I'm not going to mention it because it's not part of the bike and it shouldn't be on this sticker. The front wheel is installed with axle nuts. Inside the box here are pedals, very necessary, and then this little lock nut cover, which is not so necessary. It's really cosmetic, but there it is. We'll set these to the side for now. Let's go ahead and continue with taking the packaging off. front fender, front wheel. On the front wheel, there's some packaging, black packaging. Remove that, discard along with the cardboard. Front wheel has a rotor for the disc brake. Don't touch the rotor. It shouldn't have oil on it. There we go. That'll do the trick for now. Okay, one of the first steps to do, I want to make sure that you understand that the bike is shipped with the forks in the reverse direction. This is so that it can ship properly. You want to go ahead and first thing, turn those around so they're facing forward, and then the forks will slope away from the rest of the bike towards the front. If you have the forks backwards like this, the way that they're packaged, the wheel will be much too close to the pedals and your foot will hit it when you turn. So turn that around 180 degrees. You'll also find that there is black plastic in the bottom of the forks. Packaging, toss that, has nothing to do with the functionality of the bicycle. And remove some more packaging here. Now what I like to do to get started is go ahead and we'll put the front wheel in. That way the bike will hold itself up when we put the kickstand down. So loosen the axle nuts a little bit. These little guys right here. Washers back so you have some thread exposed there on the axle. And then you can go ahead and slip the front wheel in. For the disc brake is going to go on the left side of the bike, which is the non-chain side. You can also tell because there's a flange here on the bottom of the fork, which is where the disc brake calipers will mount. So we'll just go ahead and set the fork onto the wheel there. Like that. At this point, I like to put the kickstand down and the bike will hold itself. Okay, now we'll install the handlebars. When you do this, you want to make sure the cable configuration is correct before you install the stem into the headset, into the head tube of the bicycle frame. When you're about to do that, please know that there is packaging on the bottom of the stem. So there's this tubular piece of black plastic that is packaging. You can just discard that. And then you want to make sure that you pull all the cable that you can, get slack, especially from the disc brake caliper down here, to give you the room you need to go ahead and slip that stem right into the head tube. Okay? And then we will tighten that down with the 6mm Allen. When you're ready for that to center, you can go ahead and stand over the wheel and make sure that the stem lines up nice and parallel with the wheel, and then tighten it down. Give it a good amount of torque there. You never want that to twist while you're riding. And then with the handlebars, go ahead and loosen that clamp bolt. Angle the handlebars up to your desired position. Normally we start off with the grips parallel to the ground. You can also go higher or lower depending on your preference. And then as well, just tighten that clamp bolt down. Technically a screw, I believe. You can call it either one. And then the stem actually can also be raised or lowered to your preference. And then you can see the cable configuration here is that the clamp, the caliper cable will cross over and then come over from the opposite side of the left side grip, and then the throttle control and the gears will also cross over. Not the throttle control, sorry, the gears will also cross over from the opposite side. And that allows the handlebars to be turned back and forth like that. Then we'll go ahead and tighten it down. Make sure to get the little tab on the washer into the hole on the fork drop out. Make sure your wheel is centered and tighten it down very tightly with a 15mm wrench on both sides. First one, then the other a little bit. Excellent. So that's the front wheel. Now let's go ahead and do the pedals. Take the plastic off of them. With the pedals, as you may or may not know, there is a right pedal and a left pedal. It's very important. They're marked with stickers because they have different threads on them. So the right pedal will only go into the right crank, and the left pedal will only go into the left crank. The left pedal in particular you need to pay attention to because it is reverse threaded, also called left-hand threaded. So instead of righty-tighty like normal, it will be lefty-tighty. Okay, so let's do it. Another way to think of it, in a bike shop, generally mechanics will put these in at the same time. While the bike is in a stand, they can do it very quickly. We'll just do them one at a time here on the floor. And they both rotate towards the front of the bike. That's how they can do it so fast, both pedals at the same time in a bike shop. And that's as far as I can get it. Finger tighten, we'll do the left one. We'll show you a nice close-up so you can see the reverse threaded. But I'm also rotating this one towards the front of the bike. And then when you get it to more than finger tight, go ahead and tighten it down all the way with a 15mm wrench. Make sure it's nice and snug. Also in a bike shop, it's usually recommended to put grease on the threads of the pedal. You can certainly do that. You don't have to. The main point of that is so that if your bike experiences corrosion from being left outside, that you can easily remove the pedals later on. If you don't have grease and you'd like to add grease, this can always be done at a later date, you know, anytime in the next several months or even year or so. It's just to make sure that you can go ahead and remove those pedals again and they won't get frozen in there with corrosion. Okay, let's do the seat post now. I love the seat post. This is a really good one. Please pay attention because I'm going to show you what happens to a lot of folks, okay? They go start to put the seat post in and then, oh no, they lost it. In this case, it stopped, thank God. I can yank it out. It's actually kind of jammed in there. I was able to pull it out. You may have to use a tool to get it back out. If it goes all the way back in, all the way down in there, you're going to have to turn the bike upside down and start banging on the bottom of the bike with a hammer. We have a video for that too. What you can do to really prevent that is go ahead and put the seat, also called a saddle, into onto the seat post as it is, okay? And go ahead and tighten that down. In this case, it's a 14mm wrench. We'll grab our 14. When you tighten these down, you want to do them evenly. There are two nuts on either side of the saddle clamping assembly. So you'll tighten one side a couple turns, the other side a couple turns, until that's nicely in there. You're not going to have the correct seat angle, but you can adjust that later. Now, before you insert it, in a bike shop, they will always put grease on this. It's an automotive bearing grease or something. This is also not a functional reason for that. It's just so that in case you were to leave the bike outside or it got corroded, you'd be able to remove the seat post again later on. A lot of times, for a bike that's 10 or 15 years old and has either been ridden in the weather a lot or has been left out in the weather, that can become seized in there to the point that it's almost impossible to remove. However, this is not a necessary step to put grease on there. You can just go ahead and slide it in there, and you can add grease there at any later date if you feel like so inclined. Go ahead and we're going to, with the quick release in the open position, we're going to turn around while holding onto the nut, tighten that nut down until it's pretty firm, and then we're going to close the lever and see how it does. That was a nice firm feeling. It's holding the seat nice and securely, so that was a good fit. Sometimes you need to go a little bit tighter, sometimes a little bit looser. You'll get the feeling of it. Also, when you clamp down the lever, it should be lined up with the body of the seat post clamp. That will make sure that it works properly. These will not work properly if they're positioned incorrectly. And you can also break it. If you were to, say, try to clamp it in the downward position or in the backwards position like this, these are ways that you can actually break your seat post clamp. Okay, so last and probably least, before we get on to the battery, the disc brake, and the gears, is going to be the front fender. Fenders. Of all the things on a bicycle, fenders are not precision parts. I want to let you know this. I don't really know if there's any bicycle where the fenders are going to be exactly how you want them to when you first put them on. They're going to need a little bit of nudging, some adjustment, some finessing, okay? So let's not be afraid of that. Let's put the fenders on and then we'll make them perfect. They probably won't be perfect when we first put them on because they haven't been installed on the bike before, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and remove the nut from the fender tab mounting screw that goes through the fork. We will slide the fender through from the rear with the tab in the back of the fork. Go ahead and put the long bolt through again with one washer on it. We will hook the tab on there, put the other washer on, and then start to thread the nut back on there. The nut will stop about halfway on. That's because it has a nylon locking mechanism in there. That's to hold it on even through vibration, okay? So don't get worried when you can't put that nut on the screw all the way, on the bolt all the way. It's not supposed to. You're going to have to use a tool. You're going to need a 10 millimeter wrench, or I'm going to use a socket here, and then also a Phillips screwdriver, okay? Very simple. I'm going to put the Phillips here in the front and the 10 millimeter wrench in the back here, and then tighten them on down. Like I said, you will need a tool to get that nut on there because of the nylock locking feature. As I'm putting this on, I can see that it's going on a little crooked. I don't know if that's because it's just angled or what's going on. This is normal because we can fix this by moving it back and forth like this. See how the fender is completely movable and adjustable for whatever you need. Nothing to be alarmed about right there. We're going to use a 4 millimeter Allen here to loosen the screws on the fork dropouts, one on each side. Remove them from the frame and then simply reinstall them with the fender strut in place here. Go ahead and get that one started on one side. Whenever you're mounting anything that has more than one bolt or screw, you want to go ahead and get all of them started, all of the fasteners started before you tighten any of them down. That will save you a lot of trouble in the future as you work to get everything put where it needs to go. Okay, now I'm tightening these down all the way. And then we'll take a look and see what the fender looks like on the front wheel. All right, it's off. It's off a little bit. This one's pretty close, maybe leaning a little bit this way. There we go, we fixed it. Perfect. This one also off. You can see it's veering off to the right side of the bicycle. I'm not going to panic here. I'm just going to yank it up like that. It's perfect, okay? That's how it goes. That's how fenders work. Okay, there we go. We've assembled the bike, but we still need to address the disc brakes, the gears, and also how to do the battery. We have 3 other videos that address those that are attached to this one, so please see those. Hey there, all right, let's look at the disc brakes on the 630 e-bikes. The disc brake will arrive like this. These are really quite simple, even though a lot of people are not familiar with how the disc brake works. The rotor is already attached to the wheel. So we have the wheel installed, the rotor is already installed from the factory. Now we need to put the caliper onto the bicycle. There are 2 mounting screws on the side of the disc brake. We'll remove those. These 2 mounting bolts thread directly into the brake itself. So we will go ahead and slip the brake pads over the rotor. And then the brake will mount behind the flange on the fork. There we go. Got that one threaded. And then that one. 5 millimeter Allen wrench. We'll go ahead and tighten these. These can be tightened all the way down. Just like with anything, when you're tightening something with multiple bolts, tighten them evenly. So tighten one a little bit, then the other one, and get a nice positive connection. Now we'll go around to the back side of the brake, there is another 5mm bolt. We're going to turn this one in. It will bring the inner pad into the rotor. So right now I'm turning clockwise until I feel that inner pad contact the rotor. Now there are two adjustment bolts on the back part of the brake. These will need to be loosened. Now the brake can be positioned however you need it onto the rotor. There's a little trick for this. Once these are loose enough that the brake can be positioned laterally up and down, it can be, you can see how it can be moved around now because it's loose enough to do that. Go ahead and squeeze the brake lever, and this will naturally position the pads exactly where they need to be. And then go ahead and tighten down those positioning screws since we have the correct adjustment. Nice and firm adjustment. At this point, the brakes are too tight. There you go, you can hear them rubbing quite tightly. So we'll go back to the back again, and we will now loosen that inner pad. We'll back it out. So now I'm turning counterclockwise. Give the lever a couple squeezes. Pick the bike up and see how it spins. Now there's no friction or rubbing at all right now. However, the brake feels a little bit loose. I can tighten that one of two ways. I can either tighten the cable down here, or a little bit easier way is just to turn the barrel adjuster here counterclockwise, or the one at the lever. You can use a combination of both. That will tension the cable so that you get the right feel at the lever. You want to feel the brake start to engage the rotor about halfway through the stroke here. But the main thing is that we have a nice stopping feel, nice adequate stopping feel at the lever, and then also that the wheel spins freely of the pads, how we have it right here. That's all there is to that. If you look down on the rear hub of the bicycle, which is also the motor, you'll see that it's stamped with the voltage for your bike. It's either 48 volts or 36 volts. This is important because the batteries and the chargers are also different depending on the voltage. Your bike should come with the compatible battery, but you want to go ahead and check and make sure that you have everything that you need. If you look again on the motor, you'll see in this instance, this one says 48 volts. You'll see a corresponding 48 volt on the battery on the barcode. If you have the 36 volt bike, then you'll have the 36 volt battery also indicated on the barcode. And then the chargers are different as well. For the 48 volt battery, you'll see that it has an output of 54.6 volts on the charger. On the 36 volt battery, you'll have a 42 volt output on the charger there. To install the battery, it's really quite simple. You do need to make sure that you pay attention to the guide rail on the bottom of the rear rack, and then it engages rails on the bottom of the battery. When those are properly engaged, the battery will slide right in, and then you'll hear a very positive clicking noise when it engages with the bike, just like that. At this point, the battery is automatically locked to the bicycle. You do not need to use your key to lock it. It is locked. There's no way to remove it. To disengage the battery from the bicycle, put the key in, turn it, and then the battery can come out. On the bottom of the battery is the on-off switch. You can see the indications for off and on, a little 0 for the off and a 1 for the on. We're going to go ahead and turn that in the on position because we're also going to do a charging demonstration. Engaged. For the display up at the handlebar, there's a little M. You can go ahead and hold that down for 2 seconds or so, and then the display will come on. It can show you if you're in first, second, third, fourth, or fifth for the pedal assist. Also, you can click through and see your miles per hour, how far distance traveled, time elapsed, and then also, most importantly, your battery charge, if it's empty or full, and how much it's charged. Okay, in order to charge the battery, for this demonstration, we will remove the battery. However, you can charge the battery in the bicycle. And to get your charger, I'm going to walk over here to the outlet. I have my battery, I have my charger, and then a connection cord from the charger to the battery. The charger has a round plug that goes into the port on the battery. Please make sure when installing this that the battery is actually in the on position. It can spark, don't be alarmed. In the on position it won't spark though. And then we go ahead and plug the battery into our outlet. And you'll see the indicator light will start off red on the charger. And then when it's ready, it will go to green to indicate that we have finished charging. If you don't see a red or a green light, something is incorrect with the battery or the charging, so you'll have to reassess. Sometimes we found that actually switching outlets helps. That's about it as far as the battery goes. If you have any questions, do give us a call or email us at the team at sixthreezero.com and we'll be glad to assist you.